we all are out here just trying to like live our lives, create a space for ourselves, make money, be able to have these lives that we want to have and not struggle and like be able to afford rent and food and all these things. And you can do that without screwing people over.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to me. You have to work harder to screw people over. So why do it? It just doesn't make sense.
What this hand's always doing this. Look at my hand. It's always like this.
You have a little claw?
Like a little claw hand.
Yeah.
My dad and my grandma have like a claw hand that does like weird things. Like,
oh my
it's like
God, it has a mind of its own.
Yeah, it like does weird stuff.
Wow.
Also, it reminds me of you guys remember the movie Scary Movie 2? Oh, that scared me.
Yeah, I didn't really watch any of those.
He's like, grab my hand, and then the guy's like, use your other hand because it's a little Sorry.
Is that where the little hand meme came from?
Yeah.
Morgan, did I ever tell the story where
full
I met this guy one time who had one arm?
That's great.
And I went to shake his hand. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. Were you talking about hands?
Yeah, little
You
hands.
just switch.
Yeah, and I put out my hand and it was the wrong one.
Yeah.
So we were like,
oh gosh.
I've done that before actually. I met her at a like influencer event for like a fitness company out here.
Yeah.
And I did that same thing. And I was like,
wrong hand. Yeah.
And she's got a crazy story too. She got her arm ripped off in a boating accident.
Oh my God. Ow.
Yeah. It got stuck in the cord of the inner tube.
I can't.
Well, and for all the Minnesota people out there, like how relatable is that? Like how many times have you gone and grabbed the rope? And like, I think what happened actually is the rope was slipping and she was on the boat and reached back and grabbed it. And the tension literally tore her hand off. So don't reach for...
I mean, it's a motor versus a body part. Like you got to think about those things. In Minnesota, you like actually have to think about that.
Oh my God. My biggest fear is like getting my hair caught in a propeller.
Oh God.
Stop.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about the power tower rumor where the cord got wrapped around someone's leg and it ripped her leg off? She was like, stop, don't drop. And it ripped her leg off. I don't know if that's
disgusted.
true.
We should fact check that.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, wait a minute. Power tower doesn't have a cord, but I think I know which one you're talking about. It was at the state fair.
Completely made
Oh, is it the bungee one where they hang
fair.
you and then...
No, I love that one. Ripcord. Oh, yeah.
I think they closed it.
Really?
Yeah, they did.
At Valley Fair?
Someone got their hair, a chunk of their hair ripped out. So that it came off their scalp though. That was what happened. The other thing I was going to say is one time I could have lost my arm. I accidentally wrapped the cord around my arm and then the person on the boat took off early. And I was just trying to get adjusted. I was pulling myself in and it like literally was stuck around my arm. I could have lost my arm.
This is literally you. Yeah.
It could have been me. The only other thing is we were boating on the 4th of July, Big Island, you know, the works.
A shit show.
Classic. And by the way, my dad kayaked there last year and then he was partying and he saw a woman go by in his kayak and he was like, wait, and she was drunk. She was like, woo! She stole its kayak, but he like swam out to her and was like, get out. And he had to like dump her because she was so drunk. She had no idea.
Oh my God.
Anyway, my friend was like, I'm going to come find you. And I'm like, okay. So I put my phone away, waiting for her. I'm like 10 boats down or whatever. This guy accidentally threw it in reverse in his boat, ran her over. Almost cut her leg off.
No.
Almost cut her leg off. Literally, like, yeah, she could have passed away. But
I was just thinking the other day how dangerous like cars are. We're literally all just zooming at 80 miles per hour on a daily basis. And I saw this video and it was cars hitting a pole, like a solid pole at different speeds. And at like 80, that thing just like the pole goes through the center of the car. It was crazy. And then they go to 120. There is no car.
No, the car's gone.
Why aren't we in fight or flight constantly when we're driving, when we're going that fast?
I think about that though.
I am.
I'm not gonna lie though. I think about everybody just sitting, like hovering off the ground. Like imagine if the car went away and everyone just sits like this.
What?
And we're all just zooming through the air, like in like a little seated position. I don't know. Okay, fine. Nobody thinks of that.
No, I would rather have my own personal drone than a car. Like I want to be bubble wrapped.
Ooh, yeah.
Hitting an airbag, there is nothing like you can't even describe it.
Yeah.
It's just like the shock. And then you get done after, like bouncing into the airbag and maybe the windshield because you didn't have your seatbelt on.
Have you been in an accident?
Yeah.
And you had your airbags go off?
Yeah, multiple times.
Mine didn't go off because they were turned off. They should have gone off. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Multiple times?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, multiple times. Oh.
Yeah. So the first time I was in high school, I was like 15 driving with my high school boyfriend. We had a late start that day.
Oh, we love that.
And so we were like, we're going to go get McDonald's before school. It was like a whole thing. and there was black ice, and we like went over this little hill. He hit black ice as someone was like trying to turn left, so we rear-ended them. And I didn't have my seatbelt on because I had just like gone into the back seat. I had like just gotten like an iPod or something out of the back seat.
Yeah,
an iPod.
We were still using iPods, you guys.
Classic.
And bam, straight up into the windshield, hit the airbag. I had a chemical burn on my face from the airbag and glass in my hair. And I was so nervous to tell my mom because I didn't want to get in trouble that like I didn't have my seatbelt on.
Yeah.
I went to school right after and I was just picking glass out of my hair all day from the windshield, hitting me.
And did you end up having to tell your mom?
I don't know if I ever really told her. I honestly don't know if I told her.
How was your day at school? Oh yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and then the second car accident like was life changing for me. It actually like changed my whole trajectory of my life.
Tell us about this because we're gonna ask you about your story anyway.
So I was a junior in high school and I just bought this new horse girl, Minnesota. You know, it's a thing.
We knew you were a horse
you
girl.
Geek, you're geeking every time she says horse girl. Sophie's like, like an evil laugh.
Well, it gets a lot of shit, but we're normal. We're normal.
You are.
Too.
My cousins are all horse girls, and I go to their horse shows.
Yeah,
I don't think I understand it fully, but I love horses, and I wish I could ride them.
You're not normal.
Yes, I am.
But in the best way possible.
So
look at you.
Thank you.
Okay.
So I had just gotten this new horse, and we were hauling back from a show. And this horse, like when you talk about horses, like they are anywhere from like $1,000 at an auction, and you can buy like $100,000 horses. And so she was kind of expensive because I wanted to do college rodeo. Had all these schools lined up, everything. Yeah. And so we were at a dead stop coming back from a show, and a girl rear-ended us going 65.
Oh my God, no.
And so the horse had to be like cut out of the trailer with the jaws of life. Like it was really
Was he
bad.
okay or she?
She's okay. She's old, still living on the farm.
Okay, thank God.
She's got anxiety in cars like me now. Well, trailers, but it was a whole thing. So because of that, I couldn't do college rodeo anymore. And I ended up going to the University of Minnesota.
Oh my God. So it changed the whole direction of where you
I would have been
gone.
a weirdo in like North Dakota doing college rodeo.
Are you calling horse girls weird?
Well, like that type of horse girl.
Come on out and get down to the rodeo. You're going to ride the bull.
I've shifted now. I'm an LA horse girl.
Yeah, tell us some
different.
more. So you went to the U of M.
Yeah.
What'd you study? Who are you? Morgan from Two Hot Takes,
Hi,
by the way.
Hi, guys.
My name's Morgan Absher. Yeah, went to the U. I didn't really know what I wanted initially. And I was from like a small town up north. I didn't have any friends at the U. So I joined a sorority to try to make friends.
I'm sorry, what sorority were you in?
Alpha Phi.
Oh my God, that's my sister.
I was very uninvolved. I'm like the worst sorority girl you could have. I think I went to 2 Monday night meetings my whole career.
I got in a lot of trouble in mine.
It was bad.
People listening, they're like, yeah, we know.
Yeah. So then I went like pre-health sciences. So pre-PA, pre-OT, pre-PT. After I graduated, I moved out to LA with a friend. I'd gone through like a bad breakup. We had been together for 3 years, and I was just like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
So me and my friend packed up my little car and drove it across country to California.
That's pretty intense though, breaking up like from a long-term relationship that's safe, going to school in Minnesota that's also safe.
Yeah.
And then just saying fuck it and moving your whole entire life to LA.
It was insane.
At like 22 or whatever.
It was needed though. I think it's so important to move away from home one time in your life. Like at least to just experience something different, a little more diversity, different cultures, whatever it is, just like be on your own, that sense of independence.
If you have the means, absolutely.
If you do, but even if you don't, there's so many, teaching English in other countries, or there's ways you can still go abroad very affordably, like au pair kind of things. And I'd live in fucking Paris.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Teach some English over there. Maybe learn a little French.
Oh, bonjour.
Bonjour. Je m'appelle Morgan.
Oh, je m'appelle Sydney.
Yeah, I learned that from friends. Thanks, Phoebe. But yeah, it was a change that I definitely needed. And then moved back to Minnesota for a little bit.
Oh, you went back?
Yeah, I needed some classes for grad school. So I figured out I did want to become an occupational therapist. And went back to Minnesota, did some grad classes, worked at Lululemon, became a flight attendant.
What?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Hold on here. What's going on?
I've done a lot of weird shit, you guys.
Why do I feel like I almost was going to work at Lululemon too? It's almost like the career that you take when you're like, what the fuck?
What am I doing with my life?
I was like, I need something more passionate.
Yeah.
I want to be an educator.
I want to explain.
Like Lulu.
Hey. I want to explain what line leggings feel like.
Not going to lie. I learned a lot of patient.
I wasn't a big Kool-Aid sipper when I worked there, but the products are bomb. Like the Luxstream pants, if you want good leggings, get Luxstream, not Luon. Align sucks. I know some girlies love it.
Okay. Align stretch out.
It stretches, it pills, it's gross. Luxstream. I have a pair that I've had for 10 years, still look brand new.
Okay.
I have the same
brand
thing.
new. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good time. And
So-
Lulu, you made good money. It was good. It was whatever.
You became a flight attendant while you were taking grad classes to be an OT.
Yeah, and I'm scared of flying.
So tell us about this. What?
Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to travel. I thought I would like get to experience the world. Don't work for a small Minnesota airline because you won't see shit.
You're going to like,
North Dakota.
Yep.
Literally, I went to like North Carolina. The coolest trip I had was to Gulfport, Mississippi, and I got to go to a casino on my night off. That was the coolest trip. Go work for Delta or United, you guys, if you want to be a flight attendant. You'll actually go places.
Question, because I have a little, I mean, like, I'm not afraid of flying anymore. I'm doing a lot better. But like, did they tell you anything that you were like, oh shit, I wish I would have known that? Or
yeah, I think, well, I'm really scared of turbulence. And what was nice about being a flight attendant, as you get on the plane, the pilot already knows what you're going to expect the whole flight. He's like, yeah, an hour in, we're going to hit some turbulence, blah, blah, blah. And the way they explain turbulence, it's just like driving a car down a bumpy road. You're not going to crash. It's fine. You might drop a little bit, but it's just like you just.
I don't feel like that when I'm zooming through the air. I'm not going to lie to you. No, I feel like I'm for sure going down. Every time I have turbulence, I'm like, oh God, sand and fuck.
I love turbulence. Is that weird?
She's like, on their flight on the way here, like we went through some clouds. We would drop, like we were, because it was layers.
I love that feeling.
It was layers, and we were like sideways. And I also like don't like when we turn. I can't tell where we are. I get a little dizzy. And she's like, we get off the plane. I'm like, whew, that was tough in the beginning. I'm sweating. My hands are shaking. I had a tear. I tell you that now. I had a little tear. Okay, I admit it. She's like, oh yeah, oh my God, it put me right to bed.
I love.
I'm like, what the.
That's what I was saying. I like bumpy car rides and shit. Anyways.
sorry.
Now you are, I would say, a CEO.
What am I?
Yeah, you're like, I'm like, what is your like label? I don't even know.
You have a doctorate though, too.
Yeah. So I did finish OT school.
Oh, damn.
And so I have a doctorate in occupational therapy. I graduated April 2020. So Panny was like just hitting full force. LA was shut down. I never had my hooding ceremony. They actually like rescheduled it for next month after 3 years.
What? Oh, wait, what?
Yeah. So I might finally like go get my doctoral hood and like get hooded. But I never had it. And even with the pandemic and the need for healthcare workers, I couldn't get a job in healthcare for over a year. I was losing my mind.
Were you
depressed.
panicking?
I was just sad.
Yeah.
And I was so desperate. I mean, I'm still living in LA, and luckily I was fortunate enough to not have to pay rent because I live at home.
Yeah.
But I was on a food stamp card. I had no money. I was living off my credit cards. I was desperate. And I just got to a point where I'm like, I might have to move back to Minnesota. And I'm just sad. I feel like I don't have a purpose. I'm lost. I'm lonely, even though I have friends and family still. I mean,
you want to have a purpose though.
Yeah.
Like
COVID just really, I mean, it rocked all of us. It affected each and every person in one way or another. And it was really tough. So Reddit was kind of like my little safe space. I would go on there and find these crazy stories to send to my friends. And we'd talk back and forth. Like that was our way of keeping connected.
I didn't know this.
Wait, that's the birth of Two Hot Takes.
That's the birth of Two Hot Takes.
Oh my God.
I finally got to the point I was like, well, I can't keep annoying my friends. And like, if they like it and I like it, maybe other people will like it. So I was like, what about a podcast? And talked about it. I talked about it for a year before I started it.
Wow.
I have text messages be like, anyone want to start a podcast with me? Because I didn't think I could do it on my own.
Yeah.
And finally, Justin, my boyfriend, was so tired of me talking about it. He bought me all the equipment for Christmas, taught me how to edit, and was like, here, let's do this. Like, it's a great idea. Let's fucking go.
You two are adorable, by the way.
And thank you. And so I finally started it in February 2021, and the rest was kind of history. It popped off thanks to TikTok and making things viral. And here we are now, opening up a studio to help other podcasts grow and turning it more into a business that's bigger than just my podcast.
You're a freaking hustler, dude. You really are.
Trying.
And we are so grateful. Like honestly, so Morgan pretty much booked, planned, and her company, Two Hot Takes, everything we are doing this week in LA. And
everything.
Like me and Sid keep looking at each other like, I mean, I've said this numerous times. I'm like, why is she helping us so much? Like, this is like, oh my God. Like, I like don't, I'm like,
well, it's how uncommon is that nowadays too?
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, when's the other shoe gonna drop?
Especially with LA or just like this industry in general. Like the amount of times that me and Sid have been burned in different ways and different companies and different agencies, little like sneaky ways. Everyone has an ulterior motive. And like, yeah, I get that. We're all trying to make money, but you're doing it in a way that's at least mutually beneficial.
Yeah.
That's what I don't get. We all are out here just trying to like live our lives, create a space for ourselves, make money, be able to have these lives that we want to have and not struggle and like be able to afford rent and food and all these things. And you can do that without screwing people over.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to me. Like you have to work harder to screw people over.
Mm-hmm.
So why do it? It just doesn't make sense.
Makes no sense. And I don't know. You just get burned, and you have to like try to still play it safe while still taking risks.
It's
impossible. Like, I mean, it really is a struggle, and we were struggling. Like, we didn't know where to go or what to do. What were you gonna say?
Did you have bad experiences?
Yeah.
With like contracts and stuff? And
yeah.
What made you decide to like, okay, I can't do this with anyone, so I gotta do it myself?
Well, that was the thing. Like I luckily had the resources of like someone that knew how to edit, was familiar with audio equipment. So I had a leg up already.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was starting, like I didn't know anything about contracts or like what was fair for percentages for people to take for helping. So I would get these, outreach, especially once the show started doing well. Everyone wants a piece of a big pie.
Yeah.
And so they'd reach out and be like, you know what? We love your show so much. We believe in you.
Mm-hmm.
We want to take 50%, but we have a big platform. So we'll take 50% and we're going to boost you out. Your show is going to grow even more. And I'm like, but 50%? I'm doing everything on my own and it's going pretty well.
Yep.
Why would I give up 50%? But for someone that doesn't know that, they're going to see a big network coming in and say, oh, that's an amazing deal. I'm not going to get this opportunity. I got to take it. And that's where you see a lot of people putting themselves in unfavorable positions. I mean, I read a contract the other day where this major creator, millions and millions of followers, does not own any of the IP for their show.
No, shut up.
They are a work for hire.
Can you explain this more if people are listening?
Yeah. So if you're out there and you're like, what the hell is IP? It's intellectual property. So anything you create, whether that's writing a song, creating a podcast, making something that you publish on YouTube, you're creating intellectual property. There's a lot of weird laws in the US where we allow independent contractors and work for hire. A lot of other countries don't do this. They view IP more as art and it belongs to the creator. So we're kind of different there. So you can independent contract someone. So say like I had this other podcast idea. I can pick 2 creators that I want to do this show. All of it's my IP, even though they're the face, they're the brand, and they're putting their own heart, soul, thoughts, effort into it. They don't own it. I contracted them. They're work for hire. So you'll see a lot of agencies, companies.
Music industry does that a lot.
Music industry does it a lot.
They burn people bad. Like, I mean, like top songs, you'd have no idea. And they made like $20 on it. You're like, what?
Nothing.
It was you. Like, you did it. You even wrote it. Like, I mean, the classic like Taylor Swift situations. Like, she wasn't making any money off her songs.
Yeah. Because
they were hers.
The masters. Yeah. Music is really interesting too because there's like each song is split up to 200%. And I wish Justin was here because I'm like, oh, I'm going to butcher it. But it's essentially each song is worth 200%. 100% is the master side, and then 100% is the actual recording. It's
what 200%?
It's like how does that math work?
Yeah.
Like how do you have 200% of something? But it's some music industry thing. I'm of course butchering it, but that's why she went and re-recorded all her masters. Like
the songs that you did with them, yeah.
Or maybe the other 100% is like the writing and the production. That's actually probably
but
what
she
it is.
writes it, so it's like it makes no sense.
So she still was like making some money off of it, but not as much as she could have if she owned the master.
Since we're talking about creators, and just if people are listening and are wanting to be an influencer or creator, or they are, I kind of want to talk, since this is about candid conversations and like taboo conversations. Can we talk a little bit about money?
Yeah.
Like with I don't even know how to word the question, but I just want to get it talked about that before we went into the hustle. Do you know how to word this question, Sid, about making money with creating and like branding? Like, how much can someone really make off an Instagram post? I just know you're in this world more than we are.
I don't really do a lot of branded content. My money is like from YouTube monetization. So like if you get to a certain level on YouTube where you have over 1,000 subscribers and over 4,000 watch hours, you can monetize your channel. So then YouTube partners with Google AdSense, and Google will come in and play videos before your video, during your video, and after. And each view makes like a penny or whatever your CPM is.
Got it.
So you people out there listening, making fun of people making YouTube videos on the side just because they only have 5,000 subscribers. They're making money, honey. So
you're making
just
money.
Leave them alone.
And it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't get why anyone judges anyone for trying to be creative and trying to set another revenue or another path for themselves. It is a grind. It's not easy. And you don't make a lot of money, but like, hey, could it turn into something? Absolutely. Are you maybe going to be happier than working a 9 to 5? Absolutely. And so that's where like the balance might be worth maybe a little less, but you also can make money from like your podcast ads. So thank you for listening to the ads before this episode. It makes money. And then you can also do like branded content. So I could partner with a brand and they could say, hey, we'll pay you $500 for a TikTok post, which I get a lot. And it's like, yeah, that's pretty good money for one post, but it's also like a lot of work, a lot of research, and you go back and forth with this brand for weeks. So there's a lot of negotiation in this world. People lowball you, people take advantage of you, and it's just kind of knowing your worth and how to advocate for yourself in that way.
How many, like, what would somebody be able to live off realistically? Like, how many views, or like, what is it that you're mapping to that you're like, I can quit everything else, I can just do this?
Yeah. So I have another show that we started with my dad called Father Knows Something. And that show has about 25,000 YouTube subscribers. And I would say in the past year and a half, it's gotten 1.5 million audio downloads.
Ooh.
And that show is just starting to like really get its legs. And it's making about 5,000 a month.
Oh, wow. Cool. Great. Okay.
Yeah. So like I look at that and I'm like, $5,000 a month, that's $60K a year. So like that's almost getting to the point where you can quit. Yeah. And that's before taxes.
So that's about 100K salary more than that. Or 100K salary. Yeah.
Well, so you still pay taxes on it though.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying but you have to think about like, okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's 60.
I'm thinking of it backwards.
Yeah, $60K before taxes. But like that's at a point for a lot of people. Like my friend Lauren, when she moved out to LA, her first job was making $34K a year.
Ooh.
That's like an entry level position. So it's getting to a point where you can quit your day job. And then how much more time do you have to pump into that creative side of things and then grow it even more and maybe further and faster?
People live in fear though, like a lot of people are living in fear, and we were even prior to like doing this. And so what would you say to somebody to like get into their hustle culture and like get into their, whatever their side hustle is that they're dreaming of? What's the first step and what do they do?
Do it. Start today. You're only hurting yourself by waiting. I think about if I would have started the podcast a year when I was talking about it for the whole year, where would it be then? Like, wow. But it's never too late. And I think there's ways to start your passion while still like keeping the food in your mouth, right? Like you don't have to quit your 9 to 5. Don't bite off more than you can chew. But hey, you have a couple hours after work every week. Do it that day. And like, it's also got to be something you enjoy doing, because otherwise it's not going to be sustainable and worth it. But just start.
I also love how I think you can start and you can still pivot. Like, for example, yours started as a podcast, one show, and now you are a business. You created the studio for other people that were in the same position as you. Like, and Sid and I were just talking about this yesterday. It's like, what else could we do as Straight Candid? Like, is Straight Candid just a podcast? Or could we maybe host some more events? Like, people have been reaching out about, I don't know, having some like single event where people would wear wristbands. And like the Minneapolis community is really into the podcast, and a lot of those listeners are younger. So if you're listening and you're like wanting a little bit more behind the scenes, we were just talking about other ideas, other ways to brainstorm. Like, it doesn't have to always be so streamlined. So
no, you can do anything. I mean, and I think that's with anyone. Like I get a lot of like small businesses sending me their goods now.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can do anything with just like a little Cricut machine.
Yeah.
You can make these custom tumblers and like, I mean, there's Etsy, there's other sites that are more like small business creator friendly now. I mean, you can do anything you want to do. And there's so many like weird little, not weird, but like not the standard niche, like crocheting little animals or crocheting like a phone case. I don't know. There's so many little things. You're going to find your people.
Mm-hmm.
And because of social media like TikTok and these crazy algorithms, I mean, you say crochet and it's going to end up on all the little crochet junkies feeds and you're going to start selling your stuff. I mean, how many small businesses have you seen blow up because of TikTok now?
Oh my God, so many. And
so many.
It's interesting because you just, like you're saying, start, but like lean and look around you, like what interests you? And if you're saying, I have no interests, well, maybe you're spending a little bit too much time consuming content versus actually reflecting and thinking about what you're curious about or what excites you, right? And then your first step is, well, I don't know how to do that. Well, learn, try it. If it's interesting to you enough to have an hour, maybe 2 hours a day outside of what you do in your 9 to 5, that's could be something right there. And then you have to think about, they say, if you do something for 1 hour a day for a year, you will be better than 99% of the rest of the world in that thing.
Isn't that amazing?
And it's 1 hour.
1 hour.
Yeah.
1 hour. I saw a girl on TikTok recently that took a pottery class during COVID because she was lost, needed an outlet for her creativity, and now is selling these like pottery chain links and vases for thousands of dollars.
Yep.
Because of a COVID hobby.
Wow.
And now it is an art.
But you always have to start with something you're interested in. I'm serious right now. I'm taking it from somebody who said yes to a job, like one of my jobs out of college, because it was a dollar sign. Like you need to choose what you enjoy and what's passionate. I heard this from my parents. I heard this from my friends.
Yeah.
But like you actually have to listen because you're going to be
You're
screwed
at
later.
your job all day, every day. It's like 90% of your entire life. I also don't want to disregard the fact that you have fucking hustled.
Oh God.
It wasn't just like you're like, okay, like I'm not going to do my other job now. I'm just doing this podcast. Like, tell us about the work that you put behind this.
Well, so when I first started for the first year, I was working at a hospital in LA. So I was doing OT, and it was a hospital that was like a couple blocks off of Skid Row.
Oh yeah, rough area.
Yeah, really rough area. So I'm a very empathetic person, and it's very hard when you work in healthcare and you work at a hospital or facility that doesn't have a lot of resources, and you know, I could do so much more for this patient if only I had the resources. So I was doing that for the first year of having the podcast as well. And it's a lot of emotional work that you then get done and you're like, damn, like my social battery is drained. My empathy meter is like, so it's a lot of like being on and just like kind of like getting used to like that dynamic of, okay, there's a light at the end of the tunnel and I'm doing amazing things and all this stuff. But there was something that I took one of these meetings early on in the podcast and they're like, oh my God, you're an OT. That's amazing. How like you're helping so many people. And then the very next day I had a comment from a listener that was like, for the first time since COVID, finally feel like I'm not alone. And all these comments continue to come in. Thanks to you, I left an abusive relationship. You guys feel like my family. Like you've helped with my depression and anxiety. And I had this light bulb moment because I was so sad about leaving OT. I mean, I'd worked 3 years, gotten a doctorate in this. And then I almost felt like I was a failure for quitting OT. But I had this moment where it was like, in one podcast episode, 1 week, I'm reaching more people than I would in a career of occupational therapy.
That's crazy.
And that, I was like, I can't feel bad about it anymore.
I just got goosebumps.
Like I cannot feel bad about it anymore.
The impact that you have and like have had on people is amazing. And it's through like stories and it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like making people feel more human. Part of like why we do what we do is like being candid too. It's like you've made people feel more human and you make them feel like they're not alone in their crazy situation.
Yes.
You know? Like
a moment to not have to like sit and think about what's stressing you out. You know, it's like, oh, I can like really get into this story.
Well, and it's the sense of community. It's like I'm just one voice reading the stories every week, but we now have a Too Hot Takes subreddit and there's the YouTube comments, the Instagram comments where all these people can come together and share their experiences, like their feelings, their takes. And it's moved beyond me and the stories. And I think one thing our generation is really missing is that sense of community. We don't easily have that anymore. We're so in our own bubble, and it's hard to make friends. It's hard to like authentically and deeply connect with people. So like creating that sense of community is so important.
And you're hustling, and like you actually are hustling to create this for other people. So you are giving back. Like, don't, we have to remember that it can't just be one, linear direction. And with a hustle and a side hustle comes a lot of, like, what's the word I'm looking for? You give things up. What's that called?
Sacrifice
Your life. Because I know your life basically, but it's like, okay, you look at Morgan, you look at your success, you got 2 hot takes and all these side pieces that you're creating, which I want to know the larger goal too, but I want you to be honest about the hustle behind the scenes. Like you were telling us about your sleep schedule.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like you have to be willing to give things up and be real, that like, it's not like it just comes and it's a dream and it just boop right in your lap. Yay. Good for you. It's like, no, that's not how it works.
What's like a week or a day in the life look like?
It depends on the day. Wednesdays are, you guys, it's not my day Wednesday.
Let's hear it.
I'm a procrastinator. It's something, we've talked about this week where I need a deadline to get things done. And so Wednesdays, because my episodes come out Thursdays, are my grind day. I'm editing my episode. I'm recording ads. I'm putting it all together. I'm exporting, the audio, the video, uploading to YouTube. And I have terrible Wi-Fi, so uploading takes like 6 hours. So I usually will let the episode go live at midnight. I stay up until 1, like making sure the first listeners don't have any problems. I like do my last minute cleanup. I'm making my thumbnail for YouTube. 3 a.m. hits and I'm like,
oh my God.
Okay, YouTube's uploading. We're at like 50%. Cool. I can take a nap. So sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 4 a.m. I'll take a nap until 9, let the YouTube go live, stay up for a little bit, make sure the YouTube doesn't have issues. And then I'll go to bed until like 1 p.m. And then I wake back up and like do all the busy work the rest of the day.
Oh my God, Morgan.
Well, maybe we could do that on Tuesdays.
Yeah, we could, but she's like, not if there's not a deadline. But there's sacrifice to hustling, and I just want to be real with that. It's like there's stuff that you have to give up, and there's things that aren't beautiful. But if you have a larger goal and you want to make your goal a reality, like you need to lean in and be able to give up things that are convenient, maybe.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest. I have cried a lot over the past 3 years. A lot. I've been at moments in my life where I don't go out with friends. I mean, it's 24/7 work. And if you talk to a lot of young, like, it's weird calling myself an entrepreneur, but like just untraditional people that have these other different side gigs. Yeah. That's like a common thing where they give up a lot of their life. So I've had points in my life where my friends, I see them all going out on the weekends and they're having fun on boats and, the marina, and they're traveling and they're doing this. And that has not been a factor of my life until recently. Again, I'm trying to be more balanced, but I have felt where I'm like, I don't have any more friends anymore. Like I'm by myself on this journey. And it was like a hard reality where like you then have to step back and say, is it worth it? Can I have a better balance? Am I saying no to things where I really could say yes, and like I just need to be a little better with my time? And it's a struggle having that balance.
Is there balance in hustle culture? Is there, or can there be?
I think there can be early on. I haven't found a lot of people that have great advice for early on. And I don't. I definitely.
I'll be honest.
I fucked up.
I think we do. I think Sid and I have had a good balance.
What's the secret? What's the fucking secret?
Having really bad mental health.
Less control freakism, because I am a control freak.
Yeah,
I'm type A
but also,
for sure.
like I've learned a lot about myself since we've started this podcast. Like I can almost feel the burnout happening, and so it's time to like we know it's, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to like work. And I'm like, I gotta leave at this time. And I think I've kind of, I don't know if you can disagree with this, Sid, but I feel like I've kind of instilled a little bit of that in you, because you're a grind girl. You're grind at heart. And I'm like, I have to step back. I have to say no.
You're good with boundaries.
I do set a lot of boundaries.
Sophie's real good at boundaries. She's got me better at it too. It's hard because she'll be like, well, you can work late at night. I can't do that. I'm like, I can't work during the day. I have my 9 to 5 is traditional. It sucks. Soph works just as much as me, but her hours are different.
I wake up at 4 a.m.
Yeah,
when I'm
she
home.
can work like during these weird windows that like I can't. And I'm like, it's not a who works harder. It's a when you can work.
Yeah.
So it's tough because
But
I'm like, I
then
don't really
that-
have an option, you know, sometimes.
No, and she's
got to get up early because she doesn't have an option. So
Yeah.
the same thing, opposite, flip it.
But you're both like, you're recognizing where you're at and you're using your own strengths to benefit each other. Like,
Totally.
I mean, I'm a night owl, so you use what you got, and like setting boundaries is like so crucial. But that's not something that's inherent. That is learned, and it is trial and error and a lot of practice to set boundaries, uphold them, and then enforce consequences. Because that's the other part. You can set a boundary, but if you're not willing to enforce the consequence, you're still at step one.
And the other like thing I want to talk about too is it's not necessarily everyone's like, well, it's the time you work. That's like also corporate America. I'm like, why would I spend 2 hours on this when I can do it in 30 minutes? Or it's not necessarily how long, it's what you're getting done.
Yeah.
So why would we work 9 hours a day when we could do it in 4?
I'm afraid if I ever like, let's call it if we've got to record early with a guest and I'm like, I got to leave work early. Like I'm afraid of what will happen.
But you got
like,
your work done.
Because exactly. Because in other settings, people have made me feel like I'm a slacker because I'm stepping away from something that I'm getting quote unquote paid for. But in all fairness, not in comparison of my job, but in comparison to corporate America, because I like my job. I just don't want that to get confused in translation. I can do more than probably some of the average people who are more sliding through and just kind of coasting. And that's okay to coast if that's your personality. But I'm like, I can get my shit done in 5 hours and then I can have work time over here. But if anyone found out I was doing that, you know what I mean? Like, let's call it on a day.
Well, you're not the last one in the office.
I hate that mentality.
It's tough. It is tough. And it's tough to be on this like balance beam trying to figure out where am I sitting, because really I am in like the hustle culture and like truly my passion, my heart comes in the things that I love. And I do love my job and a lot of aspects of it, but then I'm also in the corporate America side. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, oh shit, which one is it? And like for a while that was the balance I had to learn too, you know?
Well, that's where corporate America is so behind the times. It's in corporate America.
Yeah.
Like the United States. Like if you look at other countries that have these corporate roles, a lot of other countries are shifting to 4-day work weeks.
Sabbaticals and whatever.
Sabbaticals. I mean, a lot of people in France have all of August off. Like other countries are more concerned with mental health and a balance and actually having a life versus being another worker bee. And I think it's Finland. They're going down to like a 35 or a 25. It's got a 5 at the end. It might be 25 work week, 25-hour work week.
I mean, if you can get your shit done, I mean,
and a lot of people can. I mean, COVID proved that. So many people say they work at home and do like the work that they're supposed to in
one good thing.
An 8-hour day, they get it done in 4 hours.
Oh, I could easily get if I'm at home and no one's talking to me, 100%, I could just grind.
And how much time are you saving commuting? And some people like the office. If you are an office person, you love that sense of community, go in. Like, let people pick and choose what they want. But overall, like, the company is going to save money not having these expensive office leases. You can turn offices in these high cost of living cities that are empty, like San Francisco, into affordable housing. People are going to be more productive. Like,
you still have community. You still have community. That's where people get confused. It's like you still have community outside of the work bubble. Like that's where people, you know, I've heard a lot of people in different generations say like, we're losing our sense of community. People aren't able to interact. And it's like, no, we're finding community in other areas. It's called evolution. It's happened over many years. Remember when the TV was something that everyone thought our brains were going to go to mush with?
Yeah.
I mean, truly think about the opportunities that's brought like in a whole new industry. So I don't know. Maybe that's my journalism media.
I know.
brain,
I love that point
coming
actually.
out, but
it makes me also.
By the way, I studied digital media in school.
Yeah, girl.
Anyway, sorry.
No, but that was the last point I wanted to make about making sure you have a good work-life balances. I do feel more productive, which is why I put those boundaries, because I'm going to get my work done faster, better, more efficient because I have to chill. But with your 2 hot takes, you do a lot of stories that are similar to Straight Candid moments, we've noticed, because you're the one like that started kind of this story time, and you do Reddit stories. So we kind of want to do that on our podcast as well.
Let's go, baby.
I know you brought some for us with Am I the Asshole, right?
And is it always Am I the Asshole?
No,
Not always.
Reddit is a very diverse.
I just listened to a lot of those.
There's a lot, and
I love them.
They're the juiciest ones, I think. But there's so many subreddits, so that's the one thing I love about Reddit. Yes, it can be very toxic. All of the internet can, all of it, at certain times, certain places, certain people. But it also has so many communities of like support. So if you're dealing with a toxic mother-in-law and you just need a place to vent about this lady being a bitch. Like
Reddit,
there's a subreddit for you, like Just No Mother-in-Law. If you're just burdened with this secret that you can't tell anyone else, you can go to True Off My Chest. If you're trying to find out if you're the asshole and people are gaslighting you and making you feel bad, you can go to Am I the Asshole? Like there's so many subreddits.
I see. Okay.
And sense
I get
like
it.
different areas of community you can tap into. And not just like relationship advice. It's like tech bros. Like if you're trying to like learn how to code or you're trying to learn how to do this, you can go there. If you're having a car problem, you can post the noise your car is making and you'll have mechanics tell you, hey, I think your timing belt's about to go. Ooh. Like
It's just
anything and
crazy.
everything it has on there.
Before we get into this, can you pass me a circle pillow or a sphere pillow?
So you can
I
just
want to
like get
comfy.
cozy.
I feel like this will
Ready?
take place.
Careful. I'm scared.
Yes. I feel like this will take place of our Straight Candid moment for this episode.
Yeah.
Should we take a shot before these?
Oh, we should.
Should we take a shot?
Morgan,
before these?
you bad girl.
I just love tequila.
Morgan wants a shot of hornitas.
Hey. I think we need it.
This
I do
was
too.
tonight, yesterday.
Some of these
No.
are a little juicy. They're gonna keep us on our toes. I mean,
Very
it's-
excited. Very excited.
I'm a little nervous.
Where's my headphone cord?
How big?
Like 75%.
Don't go crazy on me,
75.
sister.
75%.
This is
Because I know I'm gonna have a marg tonight.
This
I
is
can just
Morgan's.
feel it in my bones.
Oh,
Don't tempt me.
Bakary has the best mark. It's
Tomorrow night's gonna be so good.
oh my god, that's tomorrow. God, see, this week has just been chaos for us.
I know.
It's
Oh god, I don't have a chase.
Here, you can use this.
Okay. Can I sandwich?
Yes.
Are you gonna go first?
Oh, you want a sandwich?
I always sandwich.
Put that in your mouth first. Hold
Okay.
it,
Oh,
and then
there
you
you go.
cheers.
Okay. I can't say cheers though, but I'll be here.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'll be here. All right.
Cheers,
Cheers, bitches.
Hurry up, sandwich girl. God dang, I missed my window. I spilled it myself.
You just missed your mouth.
I spilled it myself. Oh shoot.
Woo, okay.
All right, we're ready.
Okay. All right.
I'll take
Buckle
that.
up, babies.
I've got quite a bit of spindrift on my chest. Oh.
All right.
Just have Sophie lick it off.
Yeah.
Here you go, honey. Jeez. Oh, good
you love
Lord.
that
Okay.
noise?
No, I did
Morgan
not.
does
it
not
again.
like mouth noises.
That's good. I just don't like mouth noises in my podcast. Like
No, don't.
you'll hear me like
Spooky.
awkwardly pause this whole episode. It's to like hide my mouth noise. But like this, like, hi, how
Oh, yeah.
are you? I cut those out of my podcast.
Oh my
It's like nails on a
You
chalkboard.
just hate it.
Ugh.
Okay, let's go. I'm so excited.
Woo, woo. Okay, here we go. So this one is coming from True Off My Chest.
Ow. Can you watch your knee?
Easy over there, girls.
criminy.
Easy.
This girl.
So this one is titled, I have been pretending to be married to pick up chicks. So like the title says, I bought marriage rings to pretend that I was married because I don't know where I read that it helped pick up chicks, and it worked. And I've been having an affair with a girl. Well, all was good because I just wanted something casual until today. She sent me that she found my wife, and if I don't divorce her quickly, she will tell her everything. I laughed pretty hard since, like I said, I'm not married, and that's the worst bluff ever. I just wanted to get it off my chest.
Oh my god.
What did this girl, did she find his lookalike or something? And you're like, I know you're married.
Last name on Instagram or something? Who knows?
What the hell?
I don't agree. I don't agree with. I wouldn't. Why would I want to get involved with a married man?
Some ladies,
It's like a fetish, I
people
think.
find it hot.
Mm.
And to you, I say you're gross.
They're
Yeah.
gross and icky. And some people, when they present it too, like, you know, if you've had a friend and they've like, yeah, oh, yeah, I was flirting with him. I'm like, isn't he married? And they're like, yep. And I'm like, like a distance friend, not like a good friend. You're like,
yeah.
oh God, I can't. I'm like, I'm keeping my mouth shut because I'm about to freak.
Ugh.
Ick.
So this one is coming from the Too Hot Takes subreddit. So we created our own little community.
I love.
This is for all my boob people. It's titled, I put my boobs up after my boyfriend made me feel uncomfortable about kissing them.
What the fuck?
Put your boobs up. What?
Yeah.
What do you mean put him up?
Put them up, put them up, put them away. So I have this thing where I like to get my boobs / nipples sucked on and played with. It's not a sexual thing either. It's just relaxing. Mm-hmm. I've told my boyfriend this, and for some time since we first met, he did it often. But now I can't even get a flick on the boob without having to ask first.
The hand motion.
But it all came to a head last night when I asked, and he did it. But in the middle of him having my boob in his mouth, he said, quote, "You know, being asked to do this makes me feel like when I ask you for head." And I said, "How do I feel?" He goes on to say, quote, "I don't know. How does it make you feel?" And I said, like, "I'd like to do it on my own." He says, "Exactly. But here's the thing. I give him oral damn near every day."
Oh,
Oh, Honey Bunches of Oats.
If I didn't wake him up to head, he would never get up early. Anyways, he wakes up, he gets head. When we're driving, I give him head. When we get home, I give him head. I do it literally at least once a day, if not more, every day.
Girl, what are you trying to prove?
What's going on here? Hold on. Can I raise my hand? Do we have direct contact with this girl? I have a lot of... What's going on? You have a mommy complex. You have your shirt off a lot. Like, are your blinds always closed? Because your neighbors for sure have seen your titty yatas.
That's okay.
And but what are you laying on the couch and you're like, "All right, come here, boy. Come lick my nipple." Like, it's just like, how is this going?
How's it transpiring?
Because he's not asking. He's not. Or she's not asking.
I'm sorry, but giving head every day sounds exhausting.
Terrible.
I was about to like admit to it, but I'm like, my hand. Like, I can count on my
admit to
hand.
giving head
like,
every day.
No. I'm saying like I can count on my hand how many times. Probably. I'm exaggerating, but seriously, because thanks. Every day.
I'm very generous, and my boyfriend realizes how lucky he is. Like. But
That's
every day I do not. Like, that is excessive. And she does go on to say, giving head is not easy. You have a whole stick going in and out of your throat, and it's messy, but I still do it and I enjoy it. He just wants his, you know what, sucked 15 times a day. Now,
I think you both have problems, if I'm being honest with you.
Sounds like my boyfriend. Just kidding.
You have problems. It's just Pat.
But did Pat write
Sorry,
this?
I wrote that in.
Now,
you and your big knockers.
It's me and my big titties.
Now, when he does kiss my boobs, he does it if only asked, and maybe for 10 minutes. If I ask if he can go longer, he huffs and puffs. He also gets horny from it sometimes, and will do it for a second and want to just start penetrating. But I'm not ready for that or in the mood for it sometimes, and that frustrates him. Anyways, after he said that last night, I took it as if he didn't want to do it. So I just kind of pushed his head off and put the covers over me. And he kept asking me what was wrong, and I'm just over it. Men are so selfish sexually, and it's not like I'm asking him to do all the work and do something difficult. It's sucking a nipple. Am I the asshole or what?
Yes.
Okay. No.
Yes.
Really?
I think so.
No.
Yeah.
As a boob girl that loves getting her nipples sucked, I'm
Definitely
Do you
not
do it
the
on the
asshole.
couch when you're watching television? Just
But
randomly?
Sid, she's
That might
giving
be-
him head every day.
and that might be
they
initiation.
both have issues, I think.
I think they're just sexually incompatible. I'm gonna go that way.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't realize how good he has it. I don't know what relationship is so like you get head every day.
Do you have enough time for this? Like, you have a lot of time if you're just like, this is like your, everyday thing on the couch.
Well,
like, it's just like a lot going on here.
And intimacy ebbs and flows. Like, me and my partner are in a phase right now where like we've been so busy for the past 2 months. Like, if we have sex once a week, it's a fucking miracle right now. It's magical. But I think this is like this is off. And also, don't give fucking head in the car. Didn't we talk about car accidents?
Yeah.
Don't
People
fucking do
come
it.
on. I definitely I don't think she's the asshole because she's giving him head every single day. But I also don't think, I think it's a little exaggerated with the amount that she wants her nipples sucked, and he wants his dick sucked.
I just don't understand.
I think they need to communicate, or they need to literally
Be done.
figure out sex
And
compatibility.
the way she wrote it
Yeah.
out is very odd. Like, it's like, I sucked my nipple. It's like very, I don't know. I'm like, am I hallucinating right now?
Well,
That's how I feel.
I kind of do get it, because nipple play for me can be very sexual, but it can also be like just kind of
Relax.
like a relaxing thing where it's just like, as I'm going to bed, this is so TMI for everyone. I'm so sorry. This
No.
took a turn.
No, what?
Candid.
This took a turn from like
Candid.
girl boss hustle to sexual stuff. Like, as I'm going to bed, I just like, you just
yes.
little nipple play, and it just lulls you into sleep. And it's
That's
just like,
not,
it just feels good.
I play with my
That's
boobs.
weird.
I like stick my hands up my shirt even when I'm like having conversations just to hold my boob.
It's
like comforting.
Yeah, I sit like
Self-care,
this sometimes, right?
self-soothing.
It's cozy.
Yeah.
You know?
I
I
feel
get that part of it.
safe.
But at the same time, it's like no one wants to ask for intimacy.
No.
And
Yeah.
that's where like they're just off. Like, I don't know the head dynamic they have, but like if you feel that your relationship is unmatched intimacy and you're being more of a giver and you want to be more of a taker, don't do as much.
Mhm.
Have a conversation. Say, I feel like I'm giving 90% and you're giving 10. I'd like it to be more 50-50 on the intimacy. And this is like popping into my head too, where foreplay, like him, like 5 minutes, a little nipple play, and then he just wants to like dive right in and penetrate.
Jeez, that's aggressive.
There's so many studies out there that say like 20 minutes of foreplay will increase a woman's likelihood of orgasming by 60%.
Mm.
And how hard is it as a woman to orgasm?
It's freaking, it's a lot of work.
I literally didn't think I was capable of it. I thought I was broken for the longest time. I think my first orgasm was at like 25, 26.
Oh my
Wow.
God. My first,
Yeah.
I know my first one was in my 20s. I think I was 21 or 22.
Didn't you guys just see
Can't relate. I was 8 years old, probably.
First wet dream,
You were
baby?
different. You were different. You were curious.
Who is it though? Rachel Bilson just came out and said her first orgasm was at 38.
That was life
I
changing.
did not see that.
And she dated Hayden Christensen, who is like
Oh my God.
my sexual awakening was Jumper. Hayden Christensen.
And you're like, you couldn't make her.
It broke my heart the other day.
Sad.
It broke my heart.
I feel bad. I feel
Yeah.
bad for her.
You also.
Poor
this-
girl. Now she knows.
This is why you advocate for yourself in the
Yeah,
bedroom.
exactly.
And
You have to.
communicate. And as a girl, it's so embarrassing to admit that you've been faking orgasms.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
But you got to.
You
Well,
either
no,
have to admit or
gotta.
make up a story like I switched birth controls and I have a harder time orgasming now. That's like always
Yeah.
a good one to go to.
That is a good
I've
one.
used that one before
that's a
when I
good
used
one.
to fake.
That's a great.
But or
Yeah.
I say I up my dose with SSRIs. But now that I'm in like a healthy relationship, I literally take so long to orgasm. I use my vibrator, focus, close my eyes, and I
Yeah.
feel very comfortable doing that. But the other thing I wanted to say about this question was the intimacy and the amount. This is like also sex desire differences, not only
Yeah.
like who's giving, who's taking, but you have to compromise. If someone wants sex 10 times a week, I want sex maybe once every 2 weeks because I'm feeling busy. Okay, we'll find a middle ground. And like
Yeah.
I sacrifice a little, he sacrifices a little. Like
Absolutely.
that's how it works.
I
Well-
will say too, and just don't get so bothered by how long it takes you.
Yes.
That's my thing. Is it was like I was obsessing with. Oh my God! Now they want to stop. Like they probably don't like this. Like I'm
You were so in your
taking too
head.
long. And then guess what? Oh, whoops! I just ruined it for myself because I was thinking too much. Like the deep breaths, and then just thinking about what's actually happening versus anything else. It like gets you
To-do
to this
list.
like zen.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it happens. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
If I just like let go for 2 seconds and not be type A, then I'll be fine.
Well, and a lot of times people with clits are so much more mental than like guys are like, they are just visual. They like,
Yep.
I have to close my eyes. I literally like
Same, you
cannot come.
can't.
I can't come unless I close my eyes. And then sometimes I have this one position and it might be life-changing for everyone.
Oh.
Let's hear it.
Oh my God. Okay. So we discovered this position and it might not work for everyone based on like how long your partner's arms are.
Okay.
But if you're laying like side by side, okay,
Okay.
have your partner stick his arm like under your neck and then the right hand goes on your right boob. Okay.
Sid, do you want to imitate?
Get it together, girls.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh God, she's coming around.
So
Like this?
No, around my
no.
neck.
So you're doing it flip. So your left hand would go on Sid's left
she's just-
boob.
I'm
Left
like-
boob. Yes, exactly. And then
Are we
so
spooning?
it's gonna be
Me
a
just sitting here like
sideways
this, like-
elbow. So then they kind of prop on the elbow that's under. You prop up on. They get their head around on the other boob, and then the other hand goes on the clit.
Oh my
So you're getting a
God.
3-for-1, and like the sucking on one nipple, the pinching of the other nipple, and the other hand on your clit.
It's like simulation overload in a wonderful way.
It feels like you're having a threesome, but it's with one person.
Oh my gosh.
It's insane.
I'm gonna
I'll
try
draw
this
you
out.
guys. I'll draw you guys a little picture, and you can insert it on the video for people.
We can just insert Sid.
I know. I'm like, if you didn't see that, you should go look at that
It's
because I was like this.
insane.
My
It was
face.
life changing. That's the position that gave me my first orgasm.
Oh my God.
I would
okay.
need-
Secrets.
I would need a vibrator on my clit, but then I could do it.
But he's got a hand, or he, she, whoever you're with,
Girl,
has a hand.
I need
to
a
work
fucking
it.
vibrating something at this point with
I've-
my anxiety meds. I need high power,
I love
high
it.
voltage.
I don't blame you.
I got the one for you. It's $14 on Amazon, and it is insane.
The bullet? Is it the bullet? No.
It's this one. It's got a little nub pad for your clit, and then one like arm that goes in that hits the G spot. 3
Can you
settings.
have a penis in there too?
No.
See,
but I do have a really great vibrating cock ring that I love
I've
too.
never tried one of those.
It goes
They're
on,
amazing.
and it
Never
helps
tried
with
one.
them too. If you have a guy that's
They
quick
love
to
it.
come, because there's one ring that goes under the balls to cup the balls.
What?
And then there's like a piece that goes up to hit your clit. And that's the toy that gave me my first penetration orgasm.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it was clit because your clit was vibrating.
But no, it was it was a combo then, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
because
combo
like,
maybe.
it was like, oh my God.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my
So
God.
good.
Wait, fun.
We'll give everyone the links for this
We'll get
episode.
links in bio. Don't you worry, sugar. So we gotcha.
Oh my God. It'd be so good.
Oh my God. Okay. Amazing.
Are you ready for one more story?
Yes, one more.
Sorry, I'm like taking
No, I
over.
love these.
I'm
No,
just
I love
like,
it.
I love
We
this
love
shit.
it.
I actually love listening. So I'm like, it's
This is
fun.
relaxing for a moment. Yes.
Yeah.
I just like when someone tells me a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. My boyfriend keeps pissing the bed and I'm over it.
Oh.
I've been there.
I,
I'll explain after. Go ahead.
24 female, have been with my boyfriend, 30 male, for almost 5 years now, and I've put up with a lot. For context, he lives with me in a condo that belongs to my dad. He's been emotionally abusive, a financial burden, cheated on me multiple times, once with my best friend at the time. Throughout everything, I've forgiven him, or at least I thought I did. Now he drinks about 12 beers a day, and sometimes he gets so drunk that he pisses the bed. We have a purple mattress that I paid 2/3 of, and he was supposed to make payments on the other third, $100 a month. But many of the times I've had to pay those payments for him since he's constantly broke from paying off his credit card debt. I feel virtually no sexual attraction to him anymore, but I really don't know how to get out of this relationship. I don't have many friends. The ones I do have, I'm not very close to. He does have a place to go if I kick him out, his mom's, but he's told me many times if I were to kick him out, he's taking both of our cats. He had one at the start, then I adopted one in 2020, which honestly really hurts to think about. I'd like some advice to get out of this awful relationship because in my rational brain, I know I deserve better. He's very manipulative, and when I've tried to walk away in the past, he always weasels himself back in.
Oh,
my gosh.
Disturbed.
First of all, the red flag, cheating with your best friend, financial burden. The list kept
Emotional
going
abuse.
on and on and on and on.
He's too broke because his credit card. He drinks 12 beers a day.
Pisses your bed.
He threatens you since you're already talking about breakups, which is really not a good sign because you've already set the bar that high of like what our fights can get to.
Yeah.
That he's gonna take your animal. I'm like,
If you are writing into a podcast about this, like Jordan said last episode, or if you're writing in to a podcast about whether or not you should break up, if the thought already enters your mind,
Break
like,
up.
it's
probably
you already
time.
know. You already know in your heart, girl.
What is she getting out of this relationship?
I think some people like to fix people. I truly believe in that.
There is-
I know people that are like that.
I
And
mean,
so
I was that person. Like the relationship
I
I'm
feel
in now is the first healthy relationship I've been in. Like I grew up, like I've got abandonment issues. You name it. Like the trauma has been had.
trauma.
So we all have these little quirks, and it's hard and it's easy to keep repeating those cycles of bad relationships.
Until you're in a healthy one.
And then you're
Until
like,
you're in
wait,
a healthy one.
but honestly, when you finally get that healthy one, then you question.
Oh,
like,
I did.
yeah.
Oh, I did.
And
I
you're
told
like,
Soph too. I
yep.
was like, shit. I don't know. Is this boring? I can't
Yeah,
tell. Like,
that-
what's going on?
You're like,
I'm like, well, I don't know.
my cortisol isn't spiking.
I'm not having heart palpitations. I feel like this is weird.
I don't have to beg for validation.
My feelings, I say I need a little bit more support and I'm giving it versus gaslit that I'm wrong for asking.
I said I wanted flowers and I got flowers. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, this is weird. I'm like, he likes me too much. You know what? Maybe he's attached. I'm like, Sid, what are you? Your little poor developing brain. Oh, it's
And
just
then the
sad.
self-sabotage kicks in and you're like, I'm starting fights to keep things
Yep.
interesting. Ugh.
He told me, Jordan, in the beginning, he's like, you're self-sabotaging. And I was like, fuck.
You're
he's
like, let's
caught me.
make drama.
He's caught me.
Let's make drama.
I dated a bad boy. Not like that. Like he didn't wear a leather jacket or anything. He just was actually just like a bad boy. I counted within a 2-week period, he wet the bed 6 times with me in it. 6 times.
What was going on?
He had a
Was he
drinking
just
problem.
drinking? Oh.
He had a drinking problem. I don't even, he would, and he never admitted to it. He wasn't willing to go to therapy. He wasn't willing to take steps forward. The cheating thing, disappearing at night, different things like that.
Yeah.
And I literally would like wake up in wetness and he'd be like, you peed. I'm like, I didn't pee. Look at my shorts.
I'm dry, baby.
They are dry except for this leg that is closest to you. I'm sorry, but you need to figure it out. And it was just, it was a mess. Yeah. 6 times in a period, 2 weeks.
Thank you for sharing all your Reddit stories. Though.
Yeah.
I literally love it. I literally love it.
I love being told stories.
I know.
I could literally talk to you both all day. I'm like sitting here. I'm like, I dated a guy in Minnesota that had a Coke problem.
Oh my God, you did?
Yeah. His family owns like a big restaurant on the lake too. And like, it was just like this whole thing.
Process of elimination.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm like,
we literally figured that out.
There's like 3.
I know. I was gonna say. I'm like, I can think of 2.
You know him.
You
know him.
Oh yeah.
He literally like.
I did not realize you guys dated.
Yeah, and
I just forgot. I'm like,
unfortunately.
But
it was
that's
crazy
true.
to watch. He like we would sleep together, and he didn't snore, and like the Coke got so bad it like made a hole in his septum, and he turned into a snorer.
Oh my God.
That'll happen to people if they overdo it.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I forgot you guys dated. That's bananas. Okay.
Yeah, that one doesn't count. It was so bad.
I always say that. That didn't
gets
count.
a little messy with this person. Well, that was so much fun. That was really fun. I'm not gonna lie.
That was fun. Honestly, that was a really good conversation. We usually we were like, oh crap, we are having Morgan on today because it was like, it was the only time it would work.
We didn't
really prep, and like that was one of my favorite episodes because you shared a lot at the beginning. Even I hope you guys got something out of that listening to side hustles, hustle culture.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
No, you definitely did.
I did too, and we want to thank you again for everything you've done for us in the past 5 months.
Make me cry.
No, seriously, we are so thankful. We feel like I texted Morgan this from Soph and I because we were together, and I'm like, Morgan's like our older sister. Like you're, I mean, you're older by what, like a year, maybe 2.
I'm 29.
No, but I'm just saying like it's more like a safety thing. I'm not saying it because of age.
No,
I'm saying it more like of like you're helping us. You make us feel safe. You make us feel like there's a trajectory. Like you've cared for us, and we're just so thankful.
Well,
like,
thank you for having me. It's an honor for you guys to have me on. I mean, you got quite the little Minnesota crew, and as a fellow Minnesotan, I'm like, these are my people. I love having you guys out.
Thank you.
This week has it's only Tuesday, and it's like, it's been so great. So
halfway.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for welcoming us in your studio.
And, no,
seriously.
Stop it.
Seriously.
And you guys are coming on my show tomorrow, so it's gonna be a good one.
Let's go.
Go check yours out. Morgan, will you shout yourself out? Give them all the deets.
Yeah. So if you want to listen to the podcast, it's 2 Hot Takes on all audio platforms, 2 Hot Takes on YouTube, all the socials, and then my personal is Morg Z Absher. But thank you guys.
As always, you can follow us at Straight Candid Podcast. And if you haven't yet left a rating and review, please do so. You can subscribe on YouTube as well.
Only 5 stars though.
Yeah.
Please.
Like if you have 4 stars, we don't want to see
unless you're a Karen and you're like, they're not funny. 1 star. We got one of those. I was like, what the fuck?
Okay.
God, chill.
It hurts. Bitch.
I'm like, geez.
It used to hurt. At this point, fuck it.
I'm like, okay.
I'm at Candid Soph.
I'm at Candid Sid. We love you guys.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, good. We just whipped that one out.
Good one.
I'm starving.
Oops, my little nipple
My
was out.
tummy is eating itself. My tummy. My stomach. Morgan, literally.
Morgan, that was so good.
You're so talented.